All right, guys, bang, bang. I've got Salsa here with me. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Let's just jump in real quick to your background and kind of how you grew up, and then how did you ultimately get into trading?
So basically, since I was a teenager, I've been doing a bunch of online gambling on mostly MMO games at the time, and that led me to transacting online, mostly on PayPal at the time. And since PayPal didn't like what I was doing, the fact I wasn't 18 yet at the time, they locked my account. I tried to appeal, etc. And basically, that led me to discover Bitcoin, which led me to trade Bitcoin when at first it wasn't for trading, but in 2017 when prices got frothy and there was kind of the bubble, I discovered trading, and I've been ever since hooked to it. Been doing trading since that day. Wasn't profitable at first, so mostly leverage trading since late 2017 to end of 2018. I basically lost for maybe 18 months in a row. So it wasn't a good start, but I was basically founding that with the altcoin bubble, which worked great in 2017. You can get an account liquidated, but your altcoin does 100x, so who cares, right? But 2018, when everything started dropping and I bag held my altcoins to zero, I went nearly bankrupt for whatever I held. I had some money that I cashed out, and which basically allowed me to survive. And in 2019, I started being I was consistently profitable for maybe 3 months between late 2018 to early 2019, and I've got an offer to work with the prop trading firm, which I took because of those funds that I managed to sell in 2018. So that's basically the caution that allowed me to take that risk. And since then, I've been a prop trader since 2019, mostly Bitcoin. But I trade a little bit of everything in crypto.
Got it. And so how did you come across the World Series of Trading, and kind of what are your thoughts as to why it was exciting?
Yeah, so most competitions, the prize pools are very cheap. Like, I remember some competitions, like there was a bunch of like promotion around it, but it's like 100K prize pool split between thousands of players. WSOT, what's interesting is like it's multiple millions. There's team prizes, there are individual prizes, and if you hit it big, there's a big prize pool. So that's one of aspect of it. The second aspect of it is because basically the entry bar is not that low, where a bunch of bots could basically cost freely just make a bunch of accounts and take every position they want, and one of the accounts will get lucky. I think the minimum entry point is like 0.03 Bitcoin. Last year it was 0.1, but Bitcoin was a lot lower, so it's not free. You can't really you can't really make like 1,000 accounts. That would not only did ban IP, but that would also cost a lot. And you'd waste a lot of value in that. So I like the fact that the entry bar is higher, just because there's less noise, less bot armies and stuff like that, I believe. I traded on ByBit for a while. I think it's a great casino, right? I like it. I trade there, and so why not?
Absolutely. And then what's kind of your trading strategy, or how do you think about what sets you apart, or what's unique about the strategy you pursue?
Yeah, so last year what I did was basically, I didn't know what to make of it, but the competition aspect of it basically means that you need to stack a huge ROI percent on your initial deposit. Last year, I started from 0.1, basically the minimum deposit. And this year, I intend to do the same. And my strategy is obviously to take higher risk than I would otherwise. So it's not really going to be like trading an account seriously. It's mostly like you have to risk it up and go full BGN per se, if that's even a word, just because the ones who win won't have 10% ROI. They'll have probably thousands of percent ROI. And the only way to manage that is to risk big relative to the account. So there's a big luck factor included. And obviously, it's not only luck, but majorly luck, in my opinion. For example, last year I was risking at the beginning, I think 50% of my accounts in singular bets, and I basically bust the account nearly at the beginning, and I redeposited. So my start, instead of being 0.1 Bitcoin, was 0.19 Bitcoin, and I think I ran that to like 8. So basically, what happens is if you get the lucky start that you're looking for, then you don't have to risk as much, because let's say you start from 0.03 and you run it to 0.2 Bitcoin, then every 0.03 Bitcoin extra that you make is still 100% ROI you stack. So you got to risk it and get a bit of a head start, and then the ROI is easier to stack without risking as much. The way I approached it was basically scalping. I'm a day trader. I bet multiple times per day. If I think the market is going to go up, I tend to buy dips intraday. If I think the market is going to go down, I tend to sell the rips intraday. And I'm not looking to nail my exit. I think the entry is a lot more important, because you get to maximize your risk reward on the entry. You don't have to take the shitty risk reward. So I try to max my risk reward on the entry and to max my win rate on the exit. So lucky entry and likely exits. And if you sell a rip, for example, because you think the market's going down, it's easier to know if you're offside, because like if market just doesn't dip after you sold, well, maybe you didn't sell the right spot. So maybe timing's off, you can cut it, you get a little bit more room to play around. But if market's breaking down and you sell, and then it tends to viciously spike back up at times, stuff like that. So I like to wait for the market to give me a little more room. So yeah, that's basically how I approached it last year.
Got it. And how important is the venue where you trade, right, in terms of the actual technical performance of it, or any of the data or insights they provide?
The venue I trade, I'm not sure I understand the question.
The platform, like the on ByBit versus another platform, how important is that to you being successful as a trader?
I think that you have to trade. You have not to be like stuck on one platform more than the others. You got to be open-minded to use whichever platform provides the best services. I think ByBit is great because you've got the Perps product I've been using for a while. You've got like the ByBit apes. I love trading against those. And then you've got the isolated margins. So it's still like when stuff gets really volatile, there's interesting plays to be made there. And generally speaking, I think it's a good platform. I like FTX and Binance too. So I trade not just ByBit, I trade other places as well. I don't limit myself, but ByBit, I've been trading a lot on it since 2019. Love it, and I still do. But in terms of venues, I'm not going to just stick to one exchange. If other exchanges offer other products or there's pros and cons elsewhere, I'm going to spread my capital in a bunch of places depending on my degree of trust and what kind of plays I'm looking for.
If you had to tell somebody who wanted to learn about trading where to go, where would you suggest they go?
The best way to learn trading, in my opinion, is to get your hands dirty and try at it, because all the trading related content, in my opinion, is mostly understandable when you've got a bit of experience and a vibe with the general market. Like if you read a trading book, you're not going to relate and get most of the essence out of it unless you have a certain amount of experience. So I actually made a guide on Medium, how to get started with trading. Basically, it covers the basic. I think it's pinned to my page. Yeah, so Twitter page, I have it. It's free. I basically wrote what I would do if I wanted to start from zero now. So it's a very brief guide on Medium and pinned to my Twitter page. Aside from that, I would recommend against going into a paid group and stuff like that. Not because I say often like paid groups are all scams and charlatans, but the reality of it, in my opinion, is that most likely it will be like the people running those services, they don't make their money in the market. They are likely to mislead you and take you steps backward, and you're paying for that services and you're giving it time into it. Like you might literally shoot yourself in the foot and pay for that and lose time. So maybe there's a few paid groups that actually would prove useful, but for the times that you're just going to end up wasting value, it's just not worth it. I never joined a paid group, never used it, and I think I would basically recommend against in general. So yeah, the best way to start learning how to trade is to get your hands dirty. I've got a good guide on it on Medium. If people are interested, it's pinned to my page.
And then my last question for you is, what's kind of your pitch to folks to go ahead and participate in World Series of Trading? What gets people excited, or what gets you excited about it?
What's getting me excited about is the cloud on Twitter. It's like free adrenaline, right? You basically glory or wrecked. I wouldn't mind going boss. Like I don't have my ego that much tied into it. Last year was a great success. I think it beat all my expectations. Like I just went with the flow and kept clicking, and it went splendidly. And I guess people have high expectations for me because they see that one result, which was, in my opinion, heavily tied to luck. Although there's obviously a skill factor. Like it's not likely that I do as well, but never know. Maybe I'll get lucky. Maybe I'll manage to win. So there's obviously a cloud factor. Twitter, how do you say that? Twitter endorphins, or whatever the pleasure hormone, like when you see those notifications. And as well, obviously, there's monetary incentive because the prize pool is quite cool. My friends will also participate, and they want to join my team, so that's pretty cool. I work with a prop firm, and last year I split the prize pool with them, and we do stuff like that. So it kind of gets me in the zone for that. I remember last year there was my friend. He got a Twitter account, EMZ. Shout out. He woke me up at like 3 a.m. because we were going to lose if I didn't like YOLO long and wake up just before the finals. And he actually woke me up, and we ended up being second instead of third because I took that risk, since he called me in the middle of the morning. Aside from that, so monetary incentive, of course, big prize pool, individual prizes as well, maybe, who knows? And not only that, but lastly, I would say it will force me, because I've been like trading a lot bigger size than, from 0.03 accounts, and I've been on a bit of a losing streak, more than usual. Like not that bad, but still, I like to get back to like trading tinier accounts. I think it's generally easier, not in the sense that it's more exciting in a way, and it gets me more in the zone because you can access to plays that you wouldn't access with larger size brackets. You can get in and out easier. Let's say you trade 100K size or like 3 million position size. It's much easier to flip around 100K in the market than 3 million fast and multiple times per day. So I feel like there's going to be more opportunities, at least at the beginning. And we'll see how this goes. I'm pretty excited for it. So yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Where can we send people to find more about you on the internet or connect with you?
I run a shit posting page on Twitter. It's called twitter.com salsa tequila. That's pretty much where it's at mostly. Post a bunch of stuff on the market, bike rides, bad takes, copy pasta, stuff like that. But once in a while I'll post something interesting. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Awesome. Let's make sure that we send people over there. And thanks so much for doing this, and good luck with the World Series of Trading.
Thank you. Have a good day.